Welcome back, everybody. I'm at Johnson's Corner, whatever you want to call it, just south of Loveland, Colorado. Just finished doing a 30-minute break here, just so you can call it that. Pretty good distance into my shift already. I've already done about 500 miles. Started out in McPherson, Kansas. Load's going to Layton, Utah. Smith's Food and Drug. It's due tomorrow evening. I'll be there tomorrow morning. I'm going to run from here up to probably just to Laramie. I might even run all the way up to Rollins or somewhere, but I'll probably stop in Laramie. I don't know if you can still hear the air going through my trailer brake valve there. The tandem slide valve is leaking audibly. Not really bad, but it's enough where I hear it, and I can tell that it's coming from the valve. So I might end up stopping at maybe Petro in Laramie. See if I can get that thing replaced while I'm there. I can't remember if they have a repair shop there at that Petro. Usually Petros do, so I would think they do, but I'm trying to recall in my head where exactly it's at, if they do have one. I'm going to come out this entrance so I don't have to go dealing with that other side road. So I don't have to go snaking around the lot to get over there. I'm going to have to make a right here. I got a couple of cars coming from the left. I'm going to wait on them first. Oh, if they were gonna go this slow, I should have just gone. But I was expecting them to be going a little bit faster than they were. Clear over here on the right. Okay, I thought about live streaming this because I do plan to take 287 up from Fort Collins to Laramie, but the only reason I'm not live streaming it is because I believe it buffers a lot in some of that area, and I want to make sure you guys can get the whole video experience there of what it looks like going through there. That's the way I usually always go when I'm coming up this way. A lot of people just stay on 25 straight up to 80 in Cheyenne. It's about, I want to say, a 13-mile difference between the two, but probably, I think it's about similar time what it takes from what I understand. There's a driver who I call one of my mentors. He's a 24-year experienced guy from Sierra, England. He's a very knowledgeable guy, and he actually used to be on the Coca-Cola dedicated fleet right over here in Denver, and I don't remember if he ever did any of the Anheuser-Busch stuff, whatever, but this was a regular, he was always in the area here. So he knows the area well, and especially when it comes to this kind of area, generally if he has something to say about it, it's one of those I listen. There are guys out here. I was just talking to someone else earlier about how experienced drivers sometimes, best thing you can do is shut your mouth and listen to what they have to say. You probably can have something new you can learn from them. You can get some insight. So, I don't necessarily call myself a rookie driver, but at the same time, I'm far from the amount of experience that some other people have. Like a guy in our company named Larry Miles. He's actually in the running for. I need to hurry up and get up to this intersection before this car gets there. Alright. I didn't want that car beating me to the circle. Can't be, you gotta be kind of aggressive sometimes in a truck. Not too aggressive, but can't be too passive in a truck. Anyway, now Larry, he's been driving since the Vietnam days. When did he start? 1965? Something like that. He's 75 years old now, if I remember him saying right. I talked to him at our terminal a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember him saying he was 75. And he just enjoys the shit out of driving for a living. And I said he started out when he was right around the Vietnam War, and then I think he left briefly, if I remember right, to for the war or whatever. I don't remember for sure. And I think he said the war disrupted him for somehow though. And it's a little bit crowded up here. Anyway, the guy's been driving for that many years, 55 years, whatever. He's got 10 million miles under his belt. He's done ice road trucking and all kinds of other stuff. A lot of people are actually wondering, well, how in the hell does someone get 10 million miles under their belt? Because people say, it'll take like 70 years or something to do. But keep in mind, so what's his background? He's in the running for ATA Trucker of the Year. But now he has a lot of stories to tell. He's a good guy. But he's one of those guys, I don't care how experienced you are. When he talks, you listen. Now, we can have different philosophies out here and stuff like that, but you never know. Like it always pays to at least hear other people's experiences and get an understanding of why they do things the way they do, or why they think something should be done a certain way. Because sometimes you might get a better understanding of something that you may never have considered looking at in a certain way. Going back though, this guy Daniel, I will kind of rant a little bit, I guess, about experienced people in general. Because there are a lot of drivers out here who say that they've been driving, or they like to throw I've been out here for so many, whatever years. Okay, so there's two sides to that. One, you get drivers who really are that experienced, but they think that their experience alone is enough to merit them respect. This woman here in the car in the truck pickup was just kind of staring at me. And anyway, it's to an extent, there is a certain degree of, I guess, a modicum of respect that should be given to someone like that. But there are also drivers out here who have that kind of experience, but have what I would call bullshit experience. Where they might have been able to get away with bad habits for so long. I'm kind of hoping you guys would pick up this. Oh. Yeah, that's really smart. Good God. Man, she just about had herself a spin out right in front of me because of why? I don't know. She had a lane she could stay in, and I was trying to give her that space to get in here. Oh man, I took these off. But anyway, like I said, there are some drivers who only do stuff a certain way, and they teach stuff a certain way only because they were taught to do it that way themselves. And sometimes technology changes, or equipment changes, or rules change, or whatever. So whatever they were taught sometimes isn't so legit or so useful in today's day and age. Case in point, I know the guy who trained me, he had 19 years of experience at the time. Yeah, he's a really good guy. He knows a lot, taught me a lot. But there are things that change, and I'll give you this. I'm not trying to pick him, put him down at all in any way on this, so don't get that impression here. Sliding tandems. Alright, and so the knowledge he gave me was that it's always 250 pounds per hole when you slide the tandems. Every hole you move takes 250 pounds of weight off of one axle and puts it onto the other. Don't try to come up into that space there, car. Just trying to let the pickup back on. Anyway, I ended up finding out, discovering on my own, after I was already done training, that trailers, they actually come in 4-inch and 6-inch pattern varieties. So, and what information he gave me was very, very useful and legit for trailers with 4-inch hole pattern. Not so useful for trailers with 6-inch holes though. And I've talked about that before because you move the trailer, if you move the tandem 1 foot, that's 750 pounds, regardless of which hole pattern you're working with, because that's the common dimension that both 4-inch and 6-inch trailer hole patterns can move by. And every 4 inches, alright, so 3 times 4 is the 12 inches that the 6-inch pattern can also move by. And it's 250 times 3, that's 750 pounds. So it's a 6-inch hole pattern, there's only 2 holes per foot, not 3. So 750 divided by 2, that gives you 375. It's important to know because if you try to move the tandem's 4 holes because you think it's you're thinking like a 4-inch hole pattern, you think that you're only moving 16 inches, basically 1 foot and 4 inches. But when you move 4 holes on a 6-inch hole pattern, you're actually moving 24 inches, or an extra 8 inches, or 2 holes further than what you would think you were doing if you were on a trailer with a 4-inch pattern. I don't know if he knew that there were trailers with 6-inch pattern. He had, like I say, he had all that experience, but maybe none of it was with 6-inch pattern. In fact, there was another guy, member in a group online, trying to tell me he'd never seen a trailer with 6-inch holes, and he used to work at basically used to build trailers for pretty much all the manufacturers. I'm like, are you sure you actually worked at the manufacturers? Because I even took a picture of what each pattern looked like and showed them, look, there you go. Here's what the 4-inch pattern looks like. Here's what the 6-inch pattern looks like. And you could, especially like with a company like Cedar England, you can pull one trailer that has a 4-inch pattern, and then the very next trailer you pull might have a 6. Now here at JCT, every trailer we ever pull is a 6-inch pattern. We don't have 4s here, so that 250-pound knowledge is completely useless to me here and to anybody else who pulls a 6-inch pattern trailer. So not to say that my trainer didn't know what he was talking about there. He knew what he was talking about with what he had experience with. Apparently he didn't, he just wasn't aware that, or I assume this was the case. I never really talked to him about it. I assume that he just never knew that there were, different hole patterns and that they have different weights that they change by. Yeah, what's going on with the weigh station? It's going to be, this thing's not chirping at me yet saying that the station's coming up. But it is coming up, and I can even see the sign right up ahead saying the station's coming up. 2 miles away, or 3 miles, so maybe that's why. It's still too far out. So, that's why I say just because a person has experience doesn't necessarily mean that their experience is going to be really that legitimate. Even if it was legitimate at one point in time, it might not be so valid today. It could be obsolete information, basically, where what they were taught was very valid and useful at their time of day, and then years later things change. I had another example of this I could talk about with when I was an aircraft mechanic. When I was active duty over in Tucson at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. Our chief, our maintenance superintendent, basically E9, a true chief actually. He was a crew chief, and then got to the top of the enlisted food chain in our squadron. Alright, so he remembered the criteria on what necessitates a tire change.
Very fine. Let's see the rig.
Talking about northbound?
Yeah, I'm just joking around. Somebody looking for a place to park?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, kind of a mess of traffic trying to get off the freeway here.
Everybody's trying to get out of the for I-70 was the same way.
I got lucky. I went up B470 and didn't catch it down any bit of traffic till just now. Alright. Accelerate and give them the Audi space. Alright, 2 miles to the weigh station. So we're going to have a whole conversation on that. Now this chief I'm talking about, basically the criteria when he was actually changing the tires himself years before was if there was any flat spot, flat spot at all showing on the tire, you had to change the tire. But later on, because tire technology changed, aircraft tire technology changed, it got to, and the way they were constructed and all that, it got to where, let's double check what's going on with the weigh station here. Pull in and that's closed. Anyway, the rules changed. So there was one time when our flight crew had a concern about a tire. Someone on the flight crew said they didn't want to take the aircraft because one of the main gear tires had a particular problem with it. I think it was a main gear if I remember right. There's a status sign coming up. It looks like it's open. I think it says open, and I see a truck over there in it, so, yeah. Alright, so we'll have to go in. Anyway, back in our chief's day and age, that would have been a legit tire change needed, but in our day and age, the tire technology changed, and the tech data also changed. I'm going to leave this closed for now while I'm talking. remainings. Probably just had to stay here. Anyway, so originally, our chief wanted us to change the tire based on what his past knowledge of the criteria was. And then our people argue, I wasn't on the team that was changing that tire, but somebody there was basically said, "Hey, this isn't right. It's the criteria says right here. Basically, got to have at least a 12-inch flat spot, and then there's also cord body layers, like numerous cord body layers on the inside of tire, inside the tread of a tire. Once you get any cord body showing, basically, let's let me wait. We'll continue this once we get out of the station." I'm over 12,000 on my drives, on my steers. I'm never that heavy. Okay. So anyway, same kind of in a similar fashion with how trucking goes with like service fails, whatever, or maybe a load doesn't get delivered on time or something. There's always kind of a blame code, if you will. They determine whether it's the driver's fault, the carrier's fault, or the shipper's fault, or weather, or something else. Okay, so flight crew, they obviously have an interest in making sure they're flying a safe aircraft. They don't want to have a tire blow out on them while they're racing down the runway at 140 knots or whatever it is. C-130s don't take off that fast, not normally. But but somewhere in the ballpark. And then aircraft tires are rated usually at about 196 knots, or over 200 miles an hour, 220 some odd miles an hour. Anyway, our chief wanted us to change the tire, our people to change the tire, but then they raised hell and said, "No, this is what the tech data says. We're not. This doesn't meet the criteria for requiring the tire change." But the ops side, basically the flight crew, they refused to fly the aircraft because of it. Here's my exit coming up here, Highway 14 westbound, Fort Collins. So anyway, they showed him what the tech data currently said, and he looked at it and was like, "Oh, be damned, yeah, it changed. I didn't know that." Damn it, I forgot what year I was in. Alright, so then he ended up, because the aircraft didn't fly when it was supposed to, now you have an issue. Well, who's getting blamed for the aircraft not flying now? Is it going to be because of ops or because of a maintenance issue or what? Or something, or what is that thing? No, that's is that a Mercedes-Benz or something? I don't know what it was. Couldn't quite read what that logo said. I thought it said MB on it. I don't know much of anything about classic cars, so if you guys watching saw that car and know something about it, please add in the comment section what exactly that thing is. Alright, so anyway, our chief ended up going over to the ops side of our unit and basically got in touch with the supervision there, leadership there, if you will, and ended up arguing, hey, this should not have been a cancel. You know, they should have taken the aircraft because here's what the tech data says. And you know, and I think he said that our people tried to tell the flight crew that, but they still wouldn't take the aircraft. And so this, you know, so there's that, and then there's also sometimes the tech data sometimes contradicts what the flight manual says, like where one of them gets updated but the other doesn't, or something. So that's some of the fun that happens with aircraft maintenance and politics and all that kind of politics within the aviation world, if you will. But that's another point where the person with experience, you know, especially even a well-respected person like him or my trainer with trucking, yeah, sometimes they're gonna be wrong. Yeah, because some things, you know, certain things change within the industry. So I mean, that's no slight on them. It just means that times have changed and they have to adapt to it. And you know, but there are other things where, yeah, a driver has something to say. You know, they have experience with this or that. Hey, talk about it. Give details about what experiences you had that drive why you see things one way or another. You know, impress upon the person why they should believe you. So just because you have experience doesn't mean you have specialized experience as well with something in particular. Like something I just dealt with in our group, our Facebook group, about a month or so ago. A driver with experience, and I think 14 or 24 years or whatever he said it was. And to somebody who one of our planners who I'm good friends with, has a lot of respect for as well, so he must be a legit good guy. He came in on the back end of a conversation that was already dead for 2 days, giving advice on how to fix a particular problem with the Qualcomm unit that really was not as, you know, that helpful. I mean, it basically, the person posting the original question or problem, their Qualcomm unit was stuck on the screen saying, please wait, and it never changed. And then they had, and then a couple of us came up with good tips, like I came up with one that I figured out is always a good fix for that problem with my truck. Just tap the touchscreen and that's it. As soon as you tap the touchscreen, it goes instantly back to the normal page. Now, this other guy came in 2 days later after all this discussion had already happened. And not to mention, you can do a phone call to Omnitrac's tech support and reset it as well. That's another way. This guy talks about unplugging the unit, waiting 15 minutes, and plugging it back in. I'm like, it's hardwired here. You can't unplug it without unscrewing it, and then where is the other plug at? I didn't even know myself where it was at, even though with 5 years of driving experience, I'm very, generally very observant and an astute learner about stuff like that. I didn't even know where it was until less than a week before he had said that. And you can imagine how many drivers, both with less and more experience than me, probably don't know where it's at either. Now, it's just not something we deal with. Our job is to drive the truck, not to fix it. To an extent. I mean, most of us, some of us will try to fix the truck as well if it means not having to sit and wait for someone to do some repair work, if we can get it done a lot more quickly ourselves. But anyway, this guy gave this advice that I thought was bad advice, and So then he got a little bit indignant, maybe because I told him, read the other comments. There's a much easier fix than what you're proposing. Maybe my message, my comment, my reply to his suggestion, whatever, might have come across as condescending or something when it wasn't intended to be that way. But I think it may have come across in text like that and was taken that way as well. Alright, coming right up here on the right, give me a right turn right here, right after I cross these railroad tracks. And now take me right through downtown. And then I'll end up heading north up 14 from there, or 287, whatever. So anyway, not to get all into drama stuff, whatever, but long story short, he decided to throw, I get upset at, someone else who I had previously blocked a long time ago. Basically told him, oh yeah, I can't stand Scott, he's a know-it-all. And he's been here for like 2 or 3 years or whatever. So then this other individual who's trying to give the help, but it's just not good help. Like, yeah, I can't stand people like that who, who've been here. They think they know everything about, just because they've been here with JCT for 2 or 3 years, whatever. And so, all right, so consider this. I don't care how much driving experience you have. How much experience do you have with the specific thing here? Like this computer issue. Because you can't, alright, so the first 10, 15 years of your, whatever, however many of those years of your experience were on paper logs and never touched the damn Qualcomm. How many years of your experience actually involved working with a Qualcomm unit? And then how many times have you actually seen that problem yourself? That's that problem specifically. And what have you done to fix it? Or what correction? What attempts have you made to correct? Which ways did you try to correct it? And what worked and what didn't work? There's a lot to that. And I've seen that problem numerous times. Not recently, but numerous. And every time after I accidentally discovered how to fix it with just touching the touch screen. That's always been all it takes is to just touch the damn touchscreen, and it's in order to fix it. College Central here. Alright, returning north here on the 287. I was going to say, this guy getting ready to cut across. Normally I come through here, it's in the... Yeah. Normally I come through here, it's in the... I should... kind of blocking the crosswalk now, but it's alright. Doesn't look like anybody's walking across anyway. Or actually, yeah, there's... people there, that family with the stroller there. Eventually, hopefully I'll be able to get out of the way before they start crossing though. Anyway, so in that respect, yeah, he might have more driving experience, but between him and I, which one of us has more experience with that specific issue? I'll rest my case, it's me. So yeah, I said, I've had numerous issues with that myself. And every time just touching the touchscreen has always worked. But, of course, you won't learn something new if you always throw your experience around and are too ignorant to read other comments and see if anybody else is given the same input that you're wanting to give. Something that really bugs me about people. People are too quick and lazy and in a hurry, whatever. They can't be bothered to even just take a look at a few comments and see if anybody's given the same input that they are considering giving. You can have, especially in like big groups like Truckers Wall of Shame or something, someone will ask a question and you'll see the same freaking question given like 200 times out of like 800 comments or something. And then you'll see like another 150 of a different kind of answer or whatever given. It's like, dude, can you guys just find the one answer that was already given and just like it or something? And yeah, and you'll see whatever has the most likes could be like the one that's the best answer or something. You know, back in the kind of following the Ask Jeeves or Yahoo Answers kind of track stuff that used to be done, or even better on Quora, Quora. That's a website I like to use. Question and answer kind of stuff where it's expected for you to give a thoughtful and detailed answer to your to somebody's question, and then it's supposed to be, and you're supposed to have credentials of some sort too, like explain why you have or having your bio thing, whatever, or why you have any kind of expertise of any kind to speak of on whatever the subject is that you're answering on. So anyway, yeah, this guy got upset. Now, yeah, he's probably a respectable guy. I'm not going to question him that he probably has a good amount of knowledge and might be worth listening to in some areas. But when it comes to that one specifically, don't go throwing your experience around at me, because your overall experience doesn't mean anything to me if you don't have any experience with something specific that's being talked about. Another case in point with that would be if you had a doctor. That's actually an analogy I gave him. I asked him, if you were a doctor with 20 years of experience and I was a cardiologist with 5 years experience, and someone had a question about hearts, which one of us two would be a better authority to talk to on the subject of hearts? Alright, 20 years, you have your value to the industry, but and you will have your value as far as hearts are concerned, but you're not going to have as much value as far as authoritative answers or things that you can do with the heart, or in heart medicine, whatever, as somebody who does nothing but heart medicine is going to have. Going back to my aircraft work, I was a crew chief by trade. Called it jack of all trades, master of none. So I had knowledge, some kind of knowledge of every single system on the aircraft, but I didn't have specialized knowledge on any particular system. So I knew how to read a hydraulic schematic. I know how to read an electrical schematic. I know basic troubleshooting. How to troubleshoot different systems. I know basic stuff about jet engines and stuff like that. But when it came time to somebody needing to do work on a particular system, like an electric system or whatever, you call an electrician out. You don't call the crew chief. The crew chief doesn't do the work. The electrician does. We get some knowledge on that, and particularly when we go out in the system and fly with the aircraft to some other location and say something goes wrong, the crew chief had to be there to try to troubleshoot it. And sometimes the crew chief can fix it on their own at wherever they're at. Sometimes they'd have to call a specialist. Basically call back to home station and talk to a specialist on the phone or something. Hey, what should I do with this? I say you can be. I retired from the Air Force. I had 20 years of experience, and yeah, all those different, yeah, especially like KC-135s. I worked on those for 15 years, I think. Worked on C-130s for 4 years, C-141s for 5 years total. KC-135s for 15 years total, and then C-17s for about 10 or so years total. And anyway, what was I doing with that? Yeah, I mean, okay, on 135, I worked on those a ton, and I got to learn. I actually was in a shop that actually specialized in flight controls and landing gear and actuated doors. So pretty much anything flight control related, I was your go-to guy on that. Yeah, in fact, even like the flight line crew chiefs, yeah, they're the same career field as me, but when it came time to if there's a problem with the flight control on an aircraft, they'd have some knowledge of it, but they don't have all the background that we have or specialized experience in, troubleshooting this problem all the time and seeing what the common causes are or whatever. Or sometimes it's this cause, sometimes it's something totally different for the same problem. So, and that's where they call us and just let us use our experience and our equipment and all that. So, if you're an experienced trekker, I implore you to not just try to throw your years of experience around like it automatically entitles you to being treated like you know everything. Damn it, Coleman. You're gonna be a dick, right? Such a fucking hurry. No, he's backing off now. So. We're gonna have uphills, and he's probably gonna get around me anyway. And I'm already going the speed limit at least, so like, why is he in such a damn hurry to go flying around me when I'm going already a few miles an hour over the limit? And we have two other trucks up here that are going to stop me from going anywhere. Actually, this truck here is holding me up now. And Coleman just needs to be a little bit more patient. So now in another respect though, there are just because a driver doesn't have so much experience doesn't mean that you should dismiss them if you have more experience in them. Like what I was just talking about. Come on, Holman, now's your chance. Radio on him. I'm just kind of kidding. I want to go around this other guy also, but I'm waiting on Holman to go around me because I know he wants to go faster than me. This guy's only doing about 62 or so. Guy's speeding up. What the fuck? You were just doing 62. And you're on your phone also, no wonder. So you can't be sitting there giving me mixed signals like that. You're doing 62 the entire time, and I think that you're gonna stay like that. All of a sudden speed up because trucks are passing you. bullshit. Anyway, yeah, you never know where you can get a useful bit of information from. And it can be anybody. It could be someone with barely a year of experience. It could be somebody with 30, 40, 50 years of experience. Have an open mind and don't throw your experience around like that. Not to mention, here's the other problem. There are drivers out here who will claim to have a certain amount of experience and really have a lot less than they
Hey, Christian, you got your radio on?
sure do.
Hey, buddy, you got a marker like that out on your driver's side front.
What's that?
Got a marker light out? That should be a blinker light out on your front headlight?
Oh, yeah, it might be one of the, maybe it might normally be like that. I don't even have my lights on right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was seeing your Pete, I always got the damn cog, those things wiggle and loose, and I have to get underneath there and freaking wiggle the light bulb and come back on.
Yeah, they know. Funny, like, I have them on right now. I don't know if you can tell very well right now.
Yeah, I can tell. I think. Yeah, no, neither one of the marker lights on your headlights. I think you got a little bit of a wire across there.
I'll double check that when I get up to Laramie. Then appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, Larry. I've said true.
Chill. Alright. Yeah, they're a 2-lane road here too, so good to have the headlights on anyway. Because 2-lane roads, I always like to have them on. Alright. So anyway, where was I? Something else too, alright, tire blowout, like a steer tire blowout. I can tell you on paper how you're supposed to handle a tire blowout, but I have no personal experience with a steer tire blowout, at least on a truck. So, yeah, I don't know how the truck will really react, and I hear stories about it, but then everybody seems to have a different experience too. I've heard people say, someone actually say their tire actually wrapped around their steering, like their control arm or whatever, and broke their steering linkage or whatever, and basically they crashed because of it, and they had nothing they could do about it. They were just along for the ride because the steering linkage got destroyed or damaged or whatever. Broken or whatever it was. Alright, so let's say you can have 30 plus years of experience but never have a tire blowout or steer tire blowout, whatever, and then you're not much of an authority on steer tire blowouts, because if you don't know what it's like to have one, then how can you say for sure that you should have been able to do this or should have been able to do that or something? And even then, some tire blowouts have different effects. Alright, so on to a different subject here. That kind of dragged on a while, I know. But, I'll kind of help get the time going by here, too. Get up here. I have another question. I want to see just what kind of responses you guys end up want to put in the comments section about the quote-unquote bro code. I have a particular reason why I'm asking this, because it was a subject that came up in a conversation recently, this morning actually. The personal conversation. I don't want to mention the individual's name. It's I don't respect their privacy and all that, but part of the bro code is when you break up with a woman, she's supposed to be off limits to your friends. So basically, basically you don't hook up with your friends' exes. It's kind of the mentality that a lot of people have. Now there are different schools of thought on that. Like, why is that? And then, some people might, why does it matter? Like, if that's that person's right to pursue their own happiness, then why should you be in the way of it? So there are different ways to look at it. I know a lot of guys don't have a reservation about it because, unfortunately, a lot of breakups go bad. Or it's a bitter ending and not bittersweet or whatever, or some along that line, and where the two people hate each other and will even spite each other, kind of like ex-husband and wife. Alright, so then if the ex hooks up with the the friend, I think some of the concern there could be that the ex might start out, especially with the toxicity that exists between the two exes, that toxicity will get spilled over into discussion with the friend. And that could cause the friend to judge the person, judge the one who's not involved in, who's on the other side. And possibly end up losing a friend over it. It's kind of like girlfriend talks all kinds of trash about the ex-boyfriend or whatever, and then starts telling her new boyfriend, who's a friend of the ex-boyfriend, all this crap about the ex. And the new boyfriend might have always been fine with the old boyfriend. But then they start hearing things about some of the things that go on with the ex-boyfriend or whatever, or don't know the whole story necessarily, and might be inclined to judge the ex based on that. And that's not right. Everybody has their problems. Everyone has skeletons in closets, and nobody's perfect. Everyone has their rough edges. And a good person is going to try to mature and grow and learn from some mistakes that were made, if they have any sense. Some other people, aren't going to learn or don't really care. You never know that, but anyway, I don't necessarily prescribe to the bro code on that. And you got just the BMW was the last one. See? Yeah. Right. Let's see if I can get around. Yeah, I should be able to get around it before the lane ends. Okay, so case in point, my ex-wife. I knew her from the base that I worked at in California, March Air Reserve Base. And I was in one squadron, she was in another, but we dealt with each other every so often. There was another individual who was in my squadron who I was friends with, and I would play basketball and lunch with a lot, and hang out with and stuff. And then I didn't realize it, but he and my ex were, they were actually an item at one point in time themselves. But in that case, before I even hooked up with her, I didn't even know that they were an item until he and I were playing basketball one day and just sitting there shooting the shit, and he was actually suggesting I hook up with her because he saw me as a good guy, he saw her as a good woman, and thought we'd make a good couple. And basically they had their own reasons why they didn't work out, but they still were friends and they respected each other. So that's how we ended up getting together. Or he kind of encouraged us, I guess, talked us into doing it. needs and ways of thinking and stuff like that. We just kind of got on each other's nerves, really, but otherwise had a lot of respect for each other in other ways, and it just didn't work out. And decided, it would be better, and maybe it would be better if we split up and kind of went our different directions, so that we could pursue our own respective areas of happiness. And I don't regret that. I don't regret the time that I spent, with her, learning life lessons from the experience of being with her. But we both have a right to pursue our happiness, and if we're in each other's way and are just kind of not going to help each other get to our ultimate happiness, then it can become a toxic situation, and maybe it would be best to pull the chute before you end up nosediving into the ground or something. But that never affected my friendship with my friend who got us together. And I don't have a problem, like if I had another ex, whatever, I don't think I would want to, like I say, maybe it would depend on who the ex is, what kind of relationship I have with them now. Most of my exes I don't have any contact with, and some of them I don't want to have any contact with. Then I have others, like one particular who I'm still friends with to this day, and we have a great deal of respect for each other. And just again had just different needs in life, and we were in each other's way. But otherwise, we were great friends and got along great, respected each other, and enjoyed our time with each other. It's just sometimes certain needs have to be met, and you can't get them from the person you're with. And then there's the other side of this I was looking at. What if you're is there a contrast between somebody who lives in a bigger city versus somebody who lives in a small town as far as that bro code is concerned? Because, big city bro code actually, it's not such a big deal, because, even like take for example where I live. I live in Victorville, California, and the city has 120,000 people in it. Not a small city by any stretch, but not huge by California standards either. But definitely plenty of people there, and so let's just say if anything were to happen between my wife and I, and she was to go run off to some other guy, or I was to go to some other woman, there are plenty of fish to fry there, whatever you will, and highly likely you can find plenty of people there to hook up with, or get involved with, who have no prior knowledge of your ex or whatever, whoever's involved. So, but if you live in a small town of maybe only a few thousand people, and there's only so many people in your preferred age group and sex or gender, whatever you want to call it, all this other kind of stuff, whatever meets your needs, there's a smaller pool of fish to work with there, if you will. And what if the only person who meets your criteria just happens to be somebody who previously was involved with one of your friends? How do you deal with that? So I can see where in a smaller town, maybe bro code might not be quite as legitimate way to look, I guess. I don't know. But again, I'm not from a small town. I don't understand small town mentality as well as somebody who actually has lived their entire life in a small town would know. But that's why I'm asking you guys, what are some of your guys' experiences with that? Have you had any experiences where you had had an ex who ended up with a friend or considered doing it or whatever. Now, let's not get on to extracurricular stuff like getting involved with your ex-girlfriend getting involved with your brother, or maybe a woman, her ex-boyfriend hooks up with her sister, something along that line. I don't know. Well, that's kind of maybe a little bit too deep there. We'll just kind of simplify it. How would you handle that? What is your moral value on that, I guess? How would you handle if a friend wanted to hook up with your ex? Just kind of curious. We don't need to have debate. It's just, have a intelligent and philosophical discussion here about this is the way I am, and this is why, and that's all that needs to be said about it. It's your life. It's your pursuit of happiness. Your rationale. Well, we can't learn from each other if we don't talk about this kind of stuff. Alright, so that guy back there, there's been a couple times he sped up and started catching up to me and then slowed back down, and I think, he's been too busy on his cell phone most of the time, I think. We got a big truck on the right shoulder up here. Roads are looking really nice today. Weather's good too. It's 59 degrees. We do have some high clouds covering more than half the sky, I would say. Probably say about 6/8 coverage or so. Maybe even 7/8. But it's all high clouds. Doesn't look like anything of any concern. So maybe I want to say an 85 or so mile trip from Johnson's Corner to Laramie. Now, see, I've done 50 so far, so it should probably be about 35 or so miles out now from Laramie, or somewhere in that ballpark, I believe. Freightliner back there is catching back up again. Alright, how about some music? It's going to be EDM. If you don't like the music, just mute until you hear that there's no music on or something. I really don't give a shit if you don't like my music. My channel, I play what I want. If you don't like what content you find on my channel, then I don't really care. My channel's not the one to watch if you don't like my content. So I'll give you that forewarning right now. If you expect to hear country music on my channel, it's not going to happen. I do listen to a variety of other stuff, EDM, rock, pop, hip-hop, R&B, whatever. I listen about everything, but very, very little, almost nothing at all of country. I even listen to classical stuff, but I also have to sometimes consider what am I playing and will YouTube block my video if I do play it. And more often than not, I find that EDM music is less likely to get blocked than, I mean, not to say there aren't any EDM songs that will get my video blocked, but there's less of it that is prone to causing my video to get blocked. And I don't want to have to re-edit the video, mute it out or whatever, and so on. For one thing, not to mention, you know, EDM is always, it tends to be more upbeat. And it kind of, you know, I don't know, it kind of helps keep me a little bit energized in a way at times. I do like my share of rock music and whatever else. Oh yeah. But like I said, don't bitch and complain if you don't like my music. You know, because they say if you know, it's like if you're watching TV. If you don't like what's on one channel, go to the next channel. Come back to the channel, you know, my channel later or something, or just don't come back. It won't hurt my feelings. I'm not here trying to become internet famous. You know, if I get a bunch of friends out of this, hey, that's fine, but I'm not trying to be YouTube famous. Alright, so anyway, that's it. Play one of my favorite trance songs here. The song's called Synchronize from Federation. left on my clock, so I could run at least a good 140 more miles. Actually, even 150. That could actually get me to Rawlins if I really want to go that far. I haven't decided yet where I'll stop. I don't know, might stop in Laramie. Then again, I better check the weather in Raleigh and Elk Mountain. Sometimes you have to play by the rule. If you don't like the weather, wait a few hours or a few days when it comes to Elk Mountain. shop? I don't remember. It says tire care, but I don't know if that's a tire shop or something else. I'm never on the side of the lot where where a shop would be if there is one.
And it's quiet, there's a silence in the darkness, and it sounds like the carnival is over. As you walk in the crowded empty spaces, and you stare at the emptiness around you. You wanna go to the city and the bright lights, get away from the sinners that's
even at the TA in Rollins, and it's hard to tell. Satellite view of Loves and Laramie. I never stop at the Loves and Laramie. I've been there once. Every time I go to Laramie, though, I usually stop at the Pilot across the street. So I'm not completely certain if I have it on satellite. Maybe.
darling, to enjoy the party. Don't get too excited, cause that's all you get from me. Hey, yeah, I think you're cute, but really you should know I just came to say hello. Hello. Hello.
Almost into Laramie. I can actually see trucks on I-80 right now up ahead. We have a way station coming up here in a minute on the right side. Wouldn't be surprised if it's open, and that way station also. Actually, Wyoming way stations as a whole are notorious for wanting drivers to park and bring their permits in. You know, the registration and bills and all that crap, and you know, check that kind of stuff, whatever, and then let you go. So don't be surprised if I end up having to park there for a minute to deal with that. 56-degree weather here right now. Uh, 2 miles away from the way station. I'll probably go ahead and stop here in Laramie because I'm a little on the tired side, and can also cut off the video there, and you know, it's not making excessively long videos. Stop that. Cavalryman Ranch Road. Port of entry, half mile. See the status sign. I think it says closed, but I can't tell. It is a weekend, so there's a possibility it will be closed. My planner is calling. Hey, what's up, Rich? Not much. Doesn't matter to me. If he's running late, is it because HOS or? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that should be fun. I mean, I was actually planning on stopping there to pick up the pilot anyway. Yeah, I'm actually just about to get on the I-80 in Laramie right now too, so I'll be there very quickly. $40.69. Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye. Bye. Okay, going to be swapping loads with the driver who just happens to be right there at the not Petro, but Pilot right here in Laramie. His load is going to Stockton, I think it was. I'm thinking he might have an HOS issue or something like that. It sounds like it's he's wanting to swap for on-time service, something like that. Says I'm projecting about 24 hours early, but yeah, and then my load here, delivers here and late in tomorrow night. But I can get more miles out of his load, and yeah, I probably will be there on the 8th, I'd imagine. And that should also run me out of hours, or really closer to being out of hours. So it's not a bad thing. It might sound like I'm losing. Like I'm going to have to sit, but I'm getting more miles out of it, and I know where my 70-hour clock is at. I think it was actually when I started my day, or what was that? When I started when I was over at Loveland, I think I had like 25 hours left to work, but I think that was when I started my shift. Or no. It would have had to be in Loveland. Because I don't think I get from Loveland all the way out to Stockton with 25 hours. It kind of end up short, so. Yeah, it sounds like I'd end up getting run down to next to nothing if I take his load. He says I'm projecting to be there on time, so if his system says I'm projecting on time, then I'm definitely going to be on time. Hours of service definitely not going to be a concern for me. Okay, 4069 is the truck number. Let's see if we have his number in here, if we know who that is. Oh, it's Kevin Rogers. Okay, I know him. So it's going to be a blue Kenworth. Coming up really quickly here. up and I'll have to figure out how many miles it is from here to Stockton, because that might affect when I decide I want to shut down. If I can still get to Stockton in 2 shifts, which I believe I can. I think I need 2 shifts regardless. Pretty sure I can get there from here in 2 shifts. I'll double check. I gotta check the miles on it. Can't see around all these modular homes or mobile homes, whatever these things are. Okay, I see him over there, I think. Yeah, he's already disconnected from his trailer. Or yeah, he's dropping his landing gear at least. He's just getting back in his truck. This guy might try to come in and pilot, so I gotta leave that room, that lane open for him. What are you doing? What are you doing? This isn't the exit.
Smart trucker, huh?
Exit's on the other side. That happens all the time. I'm not gonna lie, I think I almost made that same mistake my first time ever coming here too, and I see it happen all the time. Make sure I'm not going to get in the way of him resetting. So I need to turn around anyway. Flatbedder is real quick. Yeah, because I saw him getting out of his truck a minute ago. I'm going slowly because I don't know where. I know he's not in my lane, but I suspect he could be behind or underneath his trailer or something.
You have 1 hour and 53 minutes of remaining drive time.
Come on, change my damn status over. Alright, we're getting disconnected.
Attention, a new important message has arrived. Attention, a new important message has arrived.
God damn, Volvo, hammer down. Shit.
Double check. No, well, normally 1,200 miles I count as about 20 hours or maybe 21 at most. But
We got to remember, you're going in California, you're going over Donner.
yeah, exactly. And I don't.
I mean, 4,000 pounds isn't going to slow you down that much, but
Yeah, and I don't really speed much in Cali either.
yeah,
So. Yeah, I'm gonna double check what I got here.
I mean, let's see how many hours you have. Let's see how close you are to me. So I got like 1930.
I got 2340.
Oh, that's
so,
why.
we're
Yeah, you got
definitely
enough.
good. Yeah, he did say he was projecting me on time. So.
Yeah. And then where are you going in late?
Smith's.
Okay,
Yeah.
I know where that's at.
Smith's Food Drive.
Right off the 15 or whatever.
Yeah, not that heavy.
Oh, cool. Sweet. I don't need that.
Right.
I didn't scale. I'm sorry.
I wonder why. I wouldn't either. Unless you did. Unless
Did you get your lock?
Yeah, I got it off.
Okay, there's one mode lock in there because they're stacked high. So I just stuck one in the top and
Perfect. That's what's in that one.
one. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not loaded that high. It's only I don't know 4 or 5 or so foot tall on the.
And I think as soon as I deliver this load tomorrow, I think they're gonna make me do a reset in Utah. I was really wanting to do a reset in Winnemucca because they have casinos.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get that flight. That flight day's like, I think it's like 680 from here or something like that. But today I did 698 in 10.5 hours. So 70 miles an hour, hitting hills, the truck never slowed down.
Yeah, I sometimes like stopping in Winnemucca.
Huh?
I like stopping in Winnemucca too because you got the. Like if you need to get supplies or anything, there's that
Yeah,
Walmart.
the Walmart, it's a block away. You just walk up there, yeah.
Yeah, they got a couple restaurants and stuff around there.
And then the casino, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but all right, let me go do this. Are you taking your break too?
I was thinking about either shutting down. I was gonna stop here anyway, but I haven't decided. Oh, actually,
I made it here with like
as
13 minutes left in my, or maybe 30 minutes left in my 11 hours.
Actually, I did.
I wasn't gonna be able to make it anywhere further west.
I do need to point out something because I was actually hoping that none of these truck stops here have a tire shop, do they?
The Petro does.
Because oh no, yeah, I'm disconnected already. But you said Petro actually has a shop.
Yeah, Petros always have a shop. Why was wrong with a tire?
Yeah, it's not a tire. It's the tandem slide valve is leaking audibly. I was actually planning on stopping there originally, but I'm like, I don't remember if they have a shop there. Yeah, I'll look at the air
That's
brake.
right.
Yeah, I'll show you.
I'm trying to think like.
'Cause I can head over there and fix it first.
So as I'm on the phone with breakdown telling them
you all the way down to Phoenix. They got a, I know there's a peat dealer in Flagstaff.
Same motors, that car, but it's warranty and Kenworth.
Really?
I think that's the closest Kenworth was and then the tow truck driver tells me, we're in Holbrook, 220 miles, right? Tells me, you can't ride me down my truck.
So
I'm on my way. He goes, company policy. So and then I call, and I'm like in the sleeper, so I can call it JCT, and then I'm on the phone with them, and Rachel, I'm like, hey, good, dude, that truck comes off, you're dead. And they start pulling out. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm riding down here now. So needless to say, I didn't get my dress on the way down. That shit was scary.
Okay, so there's that guy I trained when I was in Missouri. He has a good train there. He's real good at the SPM. And then he tried to rest a little bit, and then he was always doing that.
I'm pretty sure they have like virtual ones.
Yeah. And he just, I even parked on the street, down the street, on Home Depot. And I used the first one to open the tent door over there. That was always the problem.
Well, as soon as you come off the, come out the canyon on 84, I mean, the pilot's line there, right there. So by the time I get there in the morning, take a break and go. Yeah, so it's locked. But, COVID, I guess, whatever, a JCT put them on the do not call list. So, if you ever break down up there, they will be calling code or whatever else they're running. Then, being out of Phoenix, and this fool's going to drop me over by the love. JCT arranged for the 8 to go through the yard. And he's going to drop me and leave me on the street. In no parking place. And he goes, I can put your driving test back in, but I can't go to the road. How am I supposed to fucking drive it? I mean, even if I'm only going, if you go 5 miles down, there's still a lot of torque. I mean, I'm looking for to get out there. I mean, like, I call Jason, I'm like, hey man, he dropped me in the parking, goes, let me drive the truck over the Kenworth Monday morning. Nope. And he called me back, and he called in. Like, don't ever call your number. Tell them what's going on. You want me to fucking hide something from JCT, then you're probably doing something good to do. You know what I mean? Like,
That's a good way to have
right, well, everything told me that they're starting to look down the road. Yeah, I was just crazy with that. I basically got like 8 days off, 3 off, and trying to do as much as I can. Now I'm starting to fly in a stretch, though. Like, I've been in Chicago 3 times here, like, the last like 9 days. I'm going to take whatever they give me. One load, I had 2 drops in Chicago. And I know the directions for one of them. It says eat your feeding. Again, so I knew there. I'm headed to Florida. I'm like, all right, warmer weather. Well, okay. I was delivering in Louisville. The load had to pick up at 8 o'clock this morning. I'm delivering in Louisville at 7 o'clock. By the time I left Louisville, drove up to the washout, got there, I was picking the load up 8 hours late. So I'm calling after Florida. Nope, not going to make it. Get down there right by Chattanooga, and they give me a spot, right back up. So I delivered from like Holy, Illinois, Walmart, no big deal. And then they sent me a pickup in Chicago, off Cicero. So you got to get off the 290, you got to drive up to Cicero 3 miles, other than driven up Cicero, whatever. I was like, I locked my door, hold up my window, what the fuck? Yeah, so there's a Coca-Cola in there, and you're right next to Coca-Cola. It wasn't bad, like, get in there, stop, back in, had plenty of room. It was just a drive, and like, all the stoplights. You got all these people standing around with beers. 11 o'clock in the morning, mind you. You know, they're just sitting on street corners drinking beers, and I'm like, what the fuck? Everything's boarded up, homeless. I'm like, oh, hell no. It was crazy.
Where were we delivering to in Louisville? I picked up the money from that building.
There's a chef's. I mean, the load came out of JBS, so it's a place called Chef's Choice. So when you first get to Louisville, if you take the bypass and go over the bridge and take the toll and all that, right down in there, there's it's a little tiny place. It's only got about 8 docks or whatever, but it's basically for like restaurants and chefs. They go there to get their fine. Yeah, but he has like the fine dining.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I picked up from that JBS man out there. The water's right next to that railway stop.
Where?
Yeah, Louisville.
I've never been to that JBS like that.
That's a bit of a shithole.
That's the truth that they got a JBS right there, and they ordered food from JBS and home.
So, you know, in Louisville, you got, what, the 64 goes across the bridge, and then where you take 65 down
Yeah, but before you get there, there's another route around. It's the 265 loop or whatever, and it goes over another bridge. You got to pay a toll.
I don't remember I want to say 64, but there's a brand
In a tunnel?
There's a bridge road down, and there's a brand new soccer stadium.
Oh, I thought that's pretty good. When you go over the bypass, there's a bridge and a tunnel.
Attention, a new important message has arrived.
But it was still building it last time.
Attention, a new important message has arrived.
Where the entrance to the soccer stadium is the same street that you used to get to JBS. It's like wonderful. From JBS, you literally go around.
Oh, that'll be fun getting in there when there's a soccer game going on or whatever. Letting out.
Yeah, it's a shithole area because you got to do like one-way street and circle back around that and get back to the end.
Wow. Hey, I didn't fuel that Reaper because it do not run, so.
That's all right. I usually fill them up right at the very last stop before I deliver it.
I don't know, like, if it's just lucky to draw or whatever. The load I picked up, this trailer was a dry load, and then they sent me to get another dry load. So I'm looking for something wrong with the trailer. I got like my start to reader or something like that. So I was stuck in the math and figured out we need to stop it.
Yeah, at least, I mean, if I'm over there, we still have on.
Oh yeah, that place that you can take it to get it fixed or get another trailer.
Okay, so other Kevin, the other driver here, already did the macro we need to do the swap. Just get out from under this. Looks like I already got my load assignment in, or his load info in, whatever. So bouncy. My airbags are still down. Get hooked up and pre-trip it and all that. attempting to shim the pigtail width. How about this? One of my recruiting cards.
I saw behind you, fly base. I didn't know what you was going to do there, buddy. You're good. Thank you.
Okay, we're good to go here. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down here. He says it's I think 1,000 and some odd miles, between 1,000 and 1,100. So that being the case, it'll be easy for me to get there in 2 more shifts. Let me double check it. It's going to Martin Brower and Stockton. Fight to court, I assume. Give me a good ETA to Stockton. I'll probably have you drop it in Turlock. Have one of my local drivers deliver. Okay. $10.81. So about 19 or so hours, I believe. 108 divided by 6. The 18, I would say about 19 hours. Plus my 10. Actually, plus an extra 10. The 10 that I'm starting now, plus the 10 I'll have to do en route. And then we'll say 1,400 for the current time in Cali. don't know if he's just moving it or... Yeah, I think he's just moving it to a better spot that he likes. Alright, it's minus 48. So it'll be about 5 a.m. on the 8th. So I'll tell him best ETA will be 5 a.m. the 8th. Okay. Now we're done with the scale ticket. I showed him that. Yeah, this one's a super light load, only 4,300 pounds. I guess it's boxes and shit, whatever. Now, Martin Brower, if you're not familiar, that's the transport company that services McDonald's. It's basically their subsidiary of McDonald's or whatever. They're only affiliated with McDonald's. So I guess it's like the cardboard box shit, whatever, for McDonald's food that is what this trailer has in it. Interesting. Hadn't done that before. Alright, so 1080, it should be flight court. Double check. 7277, yeah.
Seems like you're too slow.
Flight court, the 9th at
I'll just
10:30.
pull out in front of you.
Alright, so that'll be about it. I'm going to go ahead and finish this here. Figure out when a good time to stream will be again. I'm not really sure because I run in the middle of the night, not so much activity going on a lot of times, so I don't tend to want to stream at night. But, alright, he's got a 760 area code also, number himself. 577. Is he from? Yeah, he's from Southern Cal. 760 area code is my where my parents live in Barstow. Actually, my own area code, the landlines are also that. Yeah, it is Barstow. I didn't realize that. I'm gonna have to go talk to him. So, alright. So I'm gonna end this here. Thanks for watching. I'll get some more footage for you guys whenever I can. Alright. Alright, you guys take care.